to talk about Beehive bottom boards. Two different styles coming up. Hi, I'm Roger in the shop, and in this little video we're going to talk about a couple different types of bottom boards for beehives. During the summer I run a screen bottom board, and it allows me to monitor any varroa drop. Small hive beetles we don't seem to have a problem with here, right? Fortunately, we don't have a problem with them here. But it allows me to monitor the varroa drop, and it also lets me give a little bit more ventilation to the hive when it gets real hot. Now that it's getting into fall, especially today when it is really unseasonably cool, and really unseasonably cool, it's like 50 degrees, and it is the 8th of September, so that's a little early to be that cool during the day. It's also raining, so it's a good day to spend in the shop. So I'm building some more bottom boards. These are going to be solid bottom. Two different styles I'm going to cover here. One is just your basic bottom board, a solid bottom board. The other one is a bottom board that's integrated with a little bit of a hive stand. If you happen to be setting on blocks, mine's set up on 4x4s on a raised stand because of skunks, and I'll be using it there. But just kind of give you an example, the bottom boards are made out of cedar pickets. The bottom boards are made out of cedar pickets. Those are the pickets you get at the lumber store for building a cedar picket fence. And they call them 1/2 inch thick. They're actually about 5/8. If they're not dried down, they're going to be a little bit closer to 3/4. And I'll go over on how I cut and the measurements and everything, and how I put one of these together. Okay, here's one assembled. Not sanded, not painted. Now, I just put this together literally minutes ago. It's glued and stapled. I'll do some sanding on it, and I do paint these, but I do not paint the inside here where the bees live. That's one of the reasons I wanted to use the cedar here. That's the bottom side of it. No, it doesn't need to be this deep, but there's a reason that I make mine this deep, and I'll get into that in a minute. This dimension here is 3 inches, so it's 3 inches tall, and I'll get into the rabbets here. So for the sides, so 1x3, 3/4 by 3 inch wide, 22 inches long. Down from the top, come down 13/16. From here you'll need to make a rabbet, or dadu rather, that is 3/8 of an inch deep, and the width of it will be according to the thickness of your material. Let's say you're using just 1/2 inch plywood, then you'll want to have actually a hair less than 1/2 inch in there. I'm using these fence pickets, which measure 5/8, so my dadu here is 5/8 of an inch. You'll make that all the way along the side, 13/16 down on both side pieces. The back piece is 16 1/4 long, of course 3 inches wide. It's also 3/4 inch material. You have the same dadu in here for your boards, according to the thickness of what you're using for a base. And at the ends we have a rabbet that is cut back 3/4 of an inch in and 3/8 of an inch deep on both ends. This is the back piece. On the front, this is a little bit different because obviously it's the front. Same length, 16 1/4. It is now 2 1/8. You have the same cut here, except now it's no longer dadu, now it's a rabbet, according to the thickness of your material, and it needs to meet the top. At each end, again, you have the rabbet, 3/4 of an inch in, 3/8 of an inch deep, and we'll show you how this all goes together here in a few minutes. For your fence picket pieces, this is nominal 1/2 inch, it's actually 5/8, and they're usually about 5 1/2 inches wide, and this one is. So it doesn't quite come out even. When you get to the end, you're going to have to rip one of them down to make it exactly fit. The length of this is 15 9/16. So you want to, don't make it any longer, the thing isn't going to fit right. You'll never get it together. And I will show you how I put one of these together. Okay, I start with the back. I use Tight Bond 3, which is waterproof glue. And I really strongly suggest you use glue. So I start with the back here. Apply glue on the surfaces that'll be meeting the sides. That spread around in there good. Don't be afraid to use a lot. Squeeze out's a good thing. That'll meet up with the side. I'm using 1.5" galvanized staples. Get you everything aligned there. Watch you don't put a staple in your dadu though, because then you'll never get your board in. I just stand it up on end. Kind of pick and choose which side you want up, and the knots don't hurt anything as long as they're tight knots. And yes, I glue my boards in. Some people are going to disagree with that, saying the expansion and contraction of the wood. But because these pieces are so small, I don't see it as being an issue. I've done similar things to this with small work and never had any problem. So I put a little run of glue down there in the dadu. And I think I'll put this side up. I have the up facing me here. Sure everything's in there good and tight. On your end grain, be generous with the glue because this wood will really soak it up, especially if the cedar is dried like mine has, because it's been sitting in the shop here for several months. That one's got a little bit of a cup to it. So the solution to that is a clamp. One thing about these cedar fence pickets is they're cheap, but a lot of times you'll end up with some cut stuff or get some pretty crooked stuff. I just don't want to get it so tight there that I can't get my next piece in. Now we have a balance issue. Now is where we need to measure for the last one. Of course, it'd be nice if I had a ruler handy. This one needs to come right up flush. In this particular case, I need 5 7/8, which is just a little bit more than the 5.5 that a board is, so I'll have to put 2 pieces in, but not a problem. Cut a couple and Okay, so now I need 3.5. Okay, one thing you'll want to do on your last piece is before you actually put the glue on it, do a little bit of a trial fit. Make sure everything comes up flush, and it does. Then you go ahead and put your glue on. Just like that, and then lastly is the end. This is upside down right now, by the way. You can also use a glue brush. I prefer the primitive method here, I guess. It just fits over it like so. And it looks, whoops, I need another clamp to get things together a little closer to where I want it. That's pretty much all there is to it. Always good to use a few more clamps. I clamp everything together real well until all the glue's dry. Takes about half an hour. You're also assured of being square that way. And it's just a matter of letting the glue dry. Next up, I'll show you how we combine that with a hive stand. Okay, here's the other version. This is with the integrated hive stand, and this is actually two-piece. Put a landing board on it, and it's been joined right here using biscuits. No, the other kind, the wood biscuits. So what you see up here is just the basic bottom board like I built here just a few minutes ago, and below this is a hive stand, and this sets on my stand out back. Just perfect. The whole thing is 5.5 inches high, and it is 20, I think it's 25. It's 26.25 inches, 26.5 inches long to the end of the landing board, so it sticks out past the end of my big hive stand out back, and it works real well. Of course, I need to do some sanding on this, of course, and then some painting. There's the bottom. Nothing all that difficult about it. If you'd like to see how I make this lower stand, leave something in the comments and I can make a video on this. It's actually just pretty simple. Got a couple angles here, but they're just 45s. Nothing really difficult. And this gap right here gives me the perfect place to put in my entrance reducer and my mouse guard for the winter. So that is the other style. And it's not all that heavy. I suppose it weighs 8-9 pounds, but it's not something you'd be picking up with the hive anyway, unless you actually put staples or something or buckles on the side to fasten to your brood chamber. So that's my build on these two different types of bottom boards. Maybe that's not for you. If you're a commercial beekeeper, this is probably just way too much work. But if you're a hobbyist or you happen to be a woodworker and you're looking for something to do on nasty rainy days, might be a good project for you. This here is not obviously for everybody. I've got a unique situation back there with skunks and groundhogs and things I need to deal with. Hence the kind of strange put together I have here. But this here's your basic bottom board. But yeah, you can go even more simple now. You can just take a piece of OSB or plywood and put some 3/4 inch strips on it, and you got a bottom board. But I wanted to do something a little bit better. So if you got something out of this, if you appreciated it or liked it, I always appreciate getting that thumbs up. It helps the channel. Of course, we're always looking for subscribers, and next to that subscribe button's a little bell. If you click that bell, be notified when I post another video. Otherwise, I'm Roger in the shop, and we'll see you on the next one.